Thank you guys for joining us this morning. My name is Malika Abdul-Malik, and I am one of the dedicated public library account managers here at Mango. Today, I am joined by my colleagues, Cruz and Sabrina Richardson, and we are going to not only discuss what a Romance language is and where they originate from, but we're going to touch on the ones that Mango has to offer your library and its patrons, along with how love of all different kinds is celebrated at various places throughout the world. My colleague Sabrina is going to kick us off by letting us know what a Romance language even is. And then she's going to focus in on 2 of the 4 Romance languages that Mango has to offer your library and its patrons.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Malika. So yes, good morning, everyone. We really appreciate you taking time out of your day to join us. As Malika mentioned, we're going to be talking about the Romance languages today. So specifically, we're going to talk a little bit more about what Romance languages are and where they come from. And then we'll dive into a little bit more about the Romance language courses that Mango has to offer. So the major languages that are within the Romance language family are French, Italian, Spanish, Portuguese, and Romanian. So Mango does offer a language learning course for all 5 of these Romance languages. However, today we are going to just be focusing on the 4 that are highlighted in red: Spanish, French, Italian, and Portuguese. These languages happen to make up 4 of our top 9 most popular language courses, and they all have a really robust amount of content. So for these top 4, in addition to having 5 units of language learning content, all of these languages also have additional specialty courses, including a Romance course that we're going to talk a little bit more about today. So it's a really great specialty course that you can utilize around the time of Valentine's Day to help promote Mango. So before we jump into our specific languages and the Romance courses, Romance specialty courses, let's talk about what a Romance language is. So Romance languages are derived from Latin, and even more specifically from a form of Latin known as Vulgar Latin. So vulgars, in this case, isn't used in the way that we typically think of it today, meaning something that is crass or inappropriate. But in this case, Vulgar Latin refers to the colloquial version of the language, or what was casually spoken by everyday people in everyday life. So you can see here, this kind of represents the main tree from where you can see that it started off as Vulgar Latin and then evolved into the languages that we know today as French, Spanish, Romanian, Portuguese, and Italian. But on this map here, you can see the specific areas in which the Romance languages evolved. So as the Romans traveled throughout Europe and started intertwining with the locals that were there, these languages were born. So just like how in America there are different accents, different dialects and things like that across the country, same thing goes here. So you can see a couple of the different individual local dialects that are spoken within these major languages. So if you think about the Romance languages as being the children of Latin, you could look at these individual dialects as being the grandchildren. So as I mentioned before, they evolved from colloquial Latin between the 3rd and 8th centuries. So as Romans traveled across Europe and brought their customs and language along with them, the culture became intertwined with the different groups of people who were living in these different areas. So from this molding of culture and language, the Romance languages were created. The term Romance actually comes from the Vulgar Latin adverb romance, which directly translates to in Roman. So the Romance language family is one of the biggest in the world, and in total, there are almost 1 billion first and second speakers. So let's dive in and talk a little bit more about the specific Romance languages that Mango has to offer. Portuguese is the second most widely used Romance language, with Spanish being the first. Our Portuguese course has the 5 units of general language learning content, and then there are 3 additional specialty courses, one of which being the Romance course. We'll talk about that a little bit more. So some of the ways that Valentine's Day is celebrated in Portuguese-speaking countries. So in Brazil, it is called Dia dos Namorados, which literally translates to Lover's Day or boyfriend/girlfriend's day. And it's actually celebrated on June 12th. So June 12th is the day before St. Anthony's Day, which in Brazil, St. Anthony is known as the marriage saint. So on this day, traditionally, many single women perform rituals, things that are called simpatias, as an attempt to find a suitable partner. So that's one of the kind of traditional aspects of that people know historically. But in general, the celebrations are very similar to those that are done here in the US or in the UK, where people exchange things like chocolates, flowers, or just have a nice romantic dinner. In Portugal, however, they actually do celebrate it on February 14th, and it's St. Valentine's Day. So it's also there celebrated in a very similar way to here or in the UK, sending chocolates, cards, flowers, things like that. But another fun difference between Brazilian Portuguese and the Portuguese that is spoken in Portugal is that in Brazil, if you were to try to tell a loved one that you loved them, you would say te amo. But in Portugal, you would say amo te. So that's just a fun little difference between the two. So as I mentioned, we have those romance specialty courses for all of these languages. So some of the things that you can look forward to, some of the conversational goals in these romance language courses are how to inquire about someone's habits, offer to buy someone a drink, or just how to genuinely start up a conversation. So if you are interested in courting someone who happens to speak Portuguese, this course is a quick, fun, easy way to pick up a couple conversation tips. Next, we're going to talk about Italian with Mango. So Mango's Italian course is another one of our most built out courses. There's a ton of great content there. It has 5 units of language learning content. It also has 3 additional specialty courses, one of which, of course, being the romance course. So in Italy, Valentine's Day is an old tradition from the Roman Empire. Historically, it was celebrated as a spring festival. So the arrival of spring was typically celebrated together by people choosing to spend time together outdoors, strolling in parks, sitting under trees or enjoying gardens, listening to music, and just talking and enjoying each other's company. So now they do traditionally celebrate it on February 14th. And in Italy, Valentine's Day is focused on celebrating the queen of Roman gods and goddesses, Juno, who is the goddess of women in marriage. So in Italy, Valentine's Day is known as La Festa degli Innamorati. Couple notes about some fun celebrations that are done there. In Verona, Italy, which is known as the city of Romeo and Juliet, there's a 4-day Valentine's Day celebration where they hang heart lanterns all over the city. There are free concerts in the plaza. And there's also a love letter writing contest and lots of good dinner specials for different restaurants around town, as many people are trying to enjoy nice, intimate, romantic holidays. Another fun tradition is that some Italian couples actually follow the tradition of padlocking their love to a bridge or a railing. So they'll take a lock. Some people write a little note on it, lock it to a bridge, and then they'll throw the key away to celebrate the holiday and make sure that their love is eternally locked to this bridge. So now that we've talked a little bit about what romance languages are, about Portuguese and Italian, I'm going to pass the mic over to Cruz so she can tell us a little bit more about how Valentine's Day and love is expressed in Spanish-speaking countries.
All right. Thank you, Sabrina, for sharing with us the origins of Romance languages. And hi, everyone. My name is Cruz. And today I'm going to be sharing with you a few of the traditional ways that people celebrate Valentine's Day across Latin America and Spain. So before I share with you some of these traditions, though, first I would like to start with introducing some of the different ways to say Valentine's Day in Spanish. So depending on where you are in Latin America or in Spain, they might have a different name for Valentine's Day, or they might even celebrate it on a different date. So for example, if you're in Puerto Rico or in Mexico, they call Valentine's Day El Día de San Valentín, which is the day of Saint Valentine. But El Día del Amor y de la Amistad, which is the day of love and friendship, is also a common name for Valentine's Day in many countries like Mexico, Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, Ecuador, and Colombia. And other names that you might hear are El Día de los Enamorados, which is Day of the Lovers. And in Guatemala, it's also known as Día del Cariño, which is Affection Day. So I'm not sure if you noticed, but in some countries like Mexico and Puerto Rico, they do have 2 different ways to say Valentine's Day. So they do use El Día de San Valentín, which is the day of St. Valentine's. And then they also use El Día del Amor y la Amistad, which is the day of love and friendship. So just to make it a little more complicated. So however, one of the things that all these Latin American countries and in Spain do have in common is that the holiday is viewed as a day to celebrate not only romantic relationships, but also the love that is shared between family and friends. So what are some of the traditional ways that people celebrate Valentine's Day across Latin American countries and Spain? So every year on February 14, there's a large parade in Guatemala City, Guatemala, called the All Love Parade. And this is a huge senior citizen parade. And people, can celebrate by joining in the parade. And normally they wear colorful costumes and they have face masks. And they do all these to celebrate love. Also in Puerto Rico, they have similar festivities. And they like to celebrate Valentine's Day by, holding basically large public parties out in the streets. And if you're in Peru, February 14 is considered a public holiday since Carnival also takes place during the same time. So many couples in Peru take advantage of the holiday and they celebrate with mass weddings and festivals. And they also exchange orchids instead of roses, since the orchid is the native flower of Peru, and it's also a symbol of deep love. And in Dominican Republic and also El Salvador, kids play a Valentine's Day tradition game called Angelito, or Amigo Secreto, which is Little Angel or Secret Friend. So this is a similar game to, or similar to Secret Santa. So Angelito is played by randomly picking names, and then kids get a gift for their secret friend. And if you're in Bolivia or in Colombia, Valentine's Day is celebrated in September instead of February. And traditions are, same as other Latin American countries. They give flowers, chocolates, little presents and all that stuff. And they have festivals and all these other things like the other countries. But Colombia celebrates Valentine's Day on September 20th. And then Bolivia celebrates the following day on September 21st. And then, of course, music, it's also a very important part of Valentine's Day in many countries like Ecuador and in Mexico. And men traditionally wait until nightfall to serenade their loved ones outside their homes. So it's very common to find, for example, mariachi bands playing out in the streets of Mexico after dark on Valentine's Day. And finally, if you live in Argentina, then you're in luck because you get to celebrate the holiday twice a year. So not only do they celebrate Valentine's Day in February, but they also have a celebration in July called the Sweet Week. And this is where lovers traditionally exchange sweets for kisses. And my favorite one, the last one, this is known as the most romantic Catalan festival in Catalonia, Spain. And locals celebrate Diada de Sant Jordi, or St. George's Day, which is the Catalonia's patron saint, on April 23rd. And this popular holiday combines culture and legends and romance. And on this day, you're also going to find lots of book and flower stands in the streets of Barcelona. And, this is a very common thing to exchange for Valentine's Day. They exchange roses and books between sweethearts, loved ones, and colleagues. So a few of the other just fun facts that I would like to share with you about this special day is that a common phrase that a lot of Catalan people like to say is una rosa por amor y un libro para siempre, which translates to a rose for love and a book forever. Also, since Dia de Sant Jordi is such a big event, it is also common to find the latest publications and meet well-known authors signing copies of their books in the streets of Barcelona. April 23rd is not only famous for the legend of the noble St. Jordi, but also for the commemoration of the death of two great authors. So both Shakespeare and Cervantes died on April 23rd, 1660. And this is the reason why in 1995, UNESCO adopted April 23rd as the World Book Day, or also the International Day of the Book. So as you already know, Spanish, Latin America is one of the top languages here at Mango Languages, and we do have a specialty course focused just on Romance. So our Romance specialty course has 1 chapter and 10 lessons. And some of the conversation goals that you might find in this course is how to extend an invitation, how to acquire about someone's habits, and also to strike up a conversation. So here I also included some of the cultural and grammar notes that you might see in the Spanish Romance specialty course. So for instance, saying I love you to someone it's very common in Latin America. And this is something that, that you would use with your boyfriend, husband, someone in your family, or even a friend. And people in Latin America in general, they're just very affectionate people, and they're not embarrassed to express themselves, which is the reason why, there are many terms of endearment as well in Spanish. So using endearment terms, to show affection in Latin America is very common. So they use words like corazón, which translates to my love, and is very common to hear people call their loved ones mi amor. So now that I talked a little bit about, different names and traditions for Valentine's Day in Latin America and also in Spain, Malika is now going to talk a little bit about our French course. And then she's also going to share with us a few of the other unique ways Valentine's Day is celebrated in other countries. Over to you, Malika.
Great. Thanks so much, Cruz. That was really fun learning about some more traditions and celebrations of love throughout the Latin American countries. So Cruz just mentioned, I'm now going to share some information about our French language course, as well as some other expressions and traditions of love around the world. So first, let's talk about French around the world. At the beginning of the 21st century, French was an official language of more than 25 countries. Currently, in France and Corsica, about 60 million people utilize French as their first native language. And in Canada, it's more than 7.3 million people, largely within the Quebec area. And even here in the United States, we have quite a large population in the Maine, New Hampshire, and Vermont area of first language French speakers. Additionally, outside of France, the only place you're going to find with such a high number of individuals who utilize French as their first language is Africa. And they have more than 49 million native French speakers there. And French grammar, much like all the Romance languages, have been tremendously simplified from Latin, which we learned all the Romance languages originate from. All right, so let's talk about French with Mango specifically. So French is one of Mango's top languages, meaning it is one of the most utilized languages here at Mango. That being said, that means the French language has 5 full units of content, with additional listening and reading activities up through Unit 3, which was added in 2021. And furthermore, we have listening and reading activities all through Unit 3 for all of the languages that we have touched on here today. So that was all updated last year in 2021. We also have a great YouTube series on our YouTube channel that is focused on the French alphabet. So if you have not explored our YouTube channel before, I'm going to be dropping that link here shortly, but there is a lot of additional great content on there as well. All right, let's talk about our specialty courses for French. So for Mango's French course, we have 2 specialty courses that fit well for the upcoming romance-based holiday. We, of course, have our beloved wine and cheese course and a romance specialty course, just like all of our love languages here at Mango have. We have discussed the wine and cheese a little bit previously in our Going Beyond Languages webinar. So I'm going to focus in on the romance specialty course and talk about some of the conversational goals you can hope to achieve. So working through that romance specialty course in French, things that you might be able to achieve are discuss future plans, talk about means of transportation, understand some French slang, offer to buy somebody a drink, how to strike up a conversation, and how to utilize some terms of endearment. Next, we're going to see some of the culture and grammar notes that come straight out of the romance specialty course. Up at the top, there's a really cute note about how do people meet in France. Well, really similar to how we do here in the US. So online dating is very popular in France as well. And while we have like Match.com, eHarmony, and a bunch of other online-based mobile apps, the French use something called Meetic. So it's growing in popularity, and it is highly utilized for dating within the country. Below that, we see a cute little note about bonjour, just meaning it's a good day, it's a hello. So no matter who you're meeting up with, somebody on a romantic level, a friend, a family member, bonjour is a great way to kind of just say hello, good day, how's it going? And then below that, as you work through the specialty romance course, you will learn that it is very common to use names of affection that might seem silly to us, but things that literally translate to cabbage, rat, and chicken, just to name a few. So a really common term of endearment in France is "on chou," which literally translates to my cabbage, my cabbage. So this is very common in terms of endearment in France. All right, let's move on to some traditions around the world. So every year on February 14th, or every year between the 12th and 14th of February, the Village of Love, which is St. Valentine, France, turns into what we would consider the epicenter of romance. So you're going to see houses covered in roses and trees covered with love notes. And there's even opportunities to plant love trees with your sweetie. And Valentine's Day is such a popular date in the Philippines for mass weddings that should you ever find yourself there on Valentine's Day, it would not be uncommon to see hundreds, if not thousands of people in wedding dresses and suits tying the knot in unison. This is such a large event that the government actually sponsors a lot of these weddings as a form of public service for their natives. All right, let's talk about some traditions that are not romantic based. So on February 14th, friendship rather than romantic love is celebrated in Estonia. So we have something similar here in the US, which was created in the last couple of decades, if you're familiar with Valentine's Day. So Valentines is a celebration of female friendships with your best gals. Friends might exchange small gifts or go out to dinner or have their friends over to their house, but it's a really fun holiday to celebrate your female friendships. All right, let's talk about promotion for this upcoming holiday and in general. So as you can see here up on the screen on the right, we have a special I Love You PDF in Mango's top languages. This can be utilized not only for the upcoming holiday or just any time. I think it's always a great time to express how you feel about people that you care about. So I think this is a great poster that can be utilized throughout the year potentially in the library. We also have some individual I love you images as well in the 4 romance languages that we talked about today. All of those things are going to be available or currently are available in the Mango Market. If you have questions about how to access that, we are going to be putting up all of our information here at the end about who's account manager for what territories and our email and our direct telephone number as well. So if you have any questions about that, just get in touch with your account manager after today and they'll be able to help you out. Some other important things about the Mango Market that we want to mention, the Mango Market credit is updated for the year. So that does run on a calendar year. At the end of December, it goes away, whether it's been used or not. And then at the kind of middle to beginning of January, we update it. So it is all set and ready to go for you guys to use for the year. We also have some more flyers that have been translated in Spanish that you can check out in the market as well. And additionally, we have some new swag coming. So if you are in there and you're thinking about buying some stuff, just keep in mind that within the next couple of months, we are getting some new fun things in the market, and some of the other older stuff will be going away. And as a little reminder, the Mango Market is just here always to support you. It's open 24/7. It's an online, living and active website. So, it's there to support you with a weekly, monthly, promotional aspect to help you guys engage further with your community and your patrons. Before we head to the next slide, we're going to talk about the Mango event calendar. But we're just curious, have you guys ever utilized the Mango event calendar? All right, I think we could go ahead and the poll, Cruz. It looks like the majority of people / everyone that responded said that no, they have never utilized it. So that's great. Let's get into what the event calendar is and why we love it so much here at Mango. So here we have up on the screen the event calendar. It's updated for 2022. It's the calendar of world and language holidays. So the things that are highlighted in yellow reach back to a target language that we offer here at Mango, whether it be a full course or a specialty course. But as you can see, it's a full year of events and world and language holidays. We really rely on this to come up with ideas and content for our webinar and, things that we're going to use for promotion. So in the same sense, it's a great tool for you guys as well. You guys can use it to think of events in person, events online. You can maybe pull books and different materials within the library that apply to a certain holiday. You can create a book display at the front or somewhere within the library that makes sense for additional promotion and excitement, not only around Mango, but just what other resources you guys have that might tie into that holiday, whether it's books or videos or audio, programming that you might offer within the library. That being said, we're going to pop up all of our information here. We really want to thank you guys for joining us today. We really appreciate you guys taking the time to come and be a part of this in our live session. If you guys have any questions about anything we've talked about today, please reach out to your dedicated account manager. We are always happy to hear from you guys via email, via phone, whatever works best for you. Feel free to reach out to us if you guys need anything, but we look forward to seeing you at our next webinar in Q2. Take care, everybody.
Libraries are the backbone of their community, supporting and empowering ambitions far beyond their doors. As we grow ever more diverse, so does the need to connect in another language. Fulfill your patrons' thirst for knowledge with a digital resource available anytime, anywhere. Because when language is an adventure, how far will they go? Mango Languages for your library